actually keep up with comments. But yes, E3. We are back from E3. First time for me to go, at least, so it was really cool. Got to see a lot of stuff. Oh man, I don't even know where to start. Tons and tons of games. Got to go behind the scenes and play a lot of stuff that's not out yet. Pretty much anything that you're seeing as a trailer on my channel, with the exception of Phantom Dust, because it's still like very, very early in development, I was able to get my hands on and try out. So there's a couple more trailers coming. I have B-roll footage from a lot of the games that I'll be adding commentary to, just to give a more, I guess, in-depth look into a lot of the titles, because I know people are going to be curious about just specific titles, and they might not, catch the whole live stream or be able to, just sit through the whole thing, because we're going to be going over a lot of stuff. But I mean, yeah, E3 was great. I'm going to turn the sound real quick just to make sure this is picking me up. Is it? I don't think it's picking me up. Son of a bitch. Hang on one second here. And now the mic says it's picking me up. Hang on. I don't think the mic's working yet. Hang on, let me check. Tools. Let me just refresh. I just need to plug in my headset and use that. If I have to do that, I'll do that. We'll see. I'm just refreshing it so real fast just to see. Actually, let me just load this up on the computer. You see over here, because I can tell a lot better if sound is working or not over here. I don't think the mic's working yet. Nope. Yep, mic definitely is working. It's loud as hell. So, actually, let me tone that down just a smidge so it's not blowing out anybody's eardrums. Yes. Okay, so E3. I guess, well, first thing I don't know, there's a lot of things I could do. I could just start by taking questions, going into specific games. I guess we'll just start with you guys. So, in terms of all the games that were at E3, I'll let you guys... Cat, stop fucking around. I'll let you guys tell me what you want to see, or I guess what you want to know about, because I can't just pull it up right now, and I can go into what I got to play with, what I got to try out. I mean, I spent probably the most time... I'm going to whoop your... Hang on a second, my cat is being an asshole here. Hey! Come on, stop that. Go upstairs. Stop fucking around. Up the stairs. I don't know why he does this shit. He likes to like scratch against the wall. But yeah, no, there's definitely gonna end up being a delay. It's just how the stream is. Plus, I'm on my laptop and I'm wireless right now, so that's gonna be another part of it too. But so in terms of time, I probably spent the most time working with the new Borderlands game. I got to go through. Well, the first time I played as Athena. Got to test out a lot of her abilities. I gotta say, her one tree, you basically have like a Captain America type deal. Like the way the active works is you pull out the shield. While the shield's up, you just absorb a ton of damage, and then at the end of the duration of it, you toss the shield out and it does massive damage to an enemy. With the final upgrade in the one tier though, you end up, it like bounces around to a bunch of different guys and just slaughters them. As for what I played, I don't have recordings of my actual gameplay, because they didn't, I mean, I can't, plug in my PVR to the Xboxes they had set up there and start recording, but they gave us a ton of footage to work with after the fact. So right now I'm in the process of getting all that footage downloaded, because it's all up remotely, and I'll end up adding in commentary onto the footage of just the general gameplay of what I got to experience. Out of everything I got to try... There was a lot. I mean, Unity was really good, Far Cry was really good, Borderlands was really good, Evolve was really good. I don't know, it's hard to really pick just one game, because there's so many awesome releases coming out in fall. And I mean, I'm not even a Nintendo guy, but I played a little bit of Nintendo. They had, in addition to the Smash Brothers tournament, they had to have like 20, 30 Smash Brothers stations set up. And if you managed to win 2 rounds, well, there were 2 rounds, practice round and then the serious round. If you won the serious round, they gave you a T-shirt. So I beat the shit out of some kids spamming Pikachu Thunder, which I thought was pretty hilarious because I don't play Nintendo games at all. Like I played Smash back when I was in like high school, and I was just like, all right, like Pikachu can do this. I know, just spam Thunder and it'll work, and it did, and it was fantastic. Didn't get to try No Man's Sky. The Division is really good though. Like so far, the gameplay, the shooting mechanics were on point. The movement felt slightly clunky every now and then, but for the most part, I feel like it's really coming together. The team interaction in the game is probably the best part. Had the way that you can work with your team to accomplish certain things. That's going to be really nice. And I mean, they showed us a gameplay demo of it, and then we got a hands-on, which was shorter. It was like roughly 10 minutes hands-on in the single-player mission, and it played like previous Tom Clancy games, but a little bit more aggressive. Whereas in Splinter Cell, you're very much like I don't know, I never tried Assault in the last Splinter Cell, so maybe it's closer to that. But compared to my experience of the stealth in that Splinter Cell, it was nothing like that. As for next gen, I have decided I'm getting an Xbox One simply because of the fact that Phantom Dust is being, it's coming back out, and that is, I mean, it's Phantom Dust. Let me see, where's it at? Where's my Phantom Dust at? I don't even know where my Phantom Dust is at. Hang on. Where are you at, Phantom Dust? See, this right here, this is probably one of the best games ever made for Xbox. Phantom Dust. It's fantastic, and the fact that they are revamping it, it is going to be awesome. Because when they took down the original Xbox servers and you couldn't play it anymore, like I picked up, there's a proxy software you can use to be able to play old Xbox games like Halo 2, Phantom Dust, and I still go on there from time to time, and the game is just like there's nothing else like Phantom Dust out there. It's just an incredibly unique IP, and the fact that they're going to just revamp this whole thing and redo it. And I mean, there's not a lot of details on it yet. I watched an interview after the fact, and they were talking about some of the stuff they want to do, how they're going to tweak certain skills, and I think they're going to be redoing the whole story and creating a new original story with it. But I know for the most part the skills are going to be the same, and they're doing some tweaks with those, so that's good. But yeah, I mean that alone, like I didn't get there on Monday. I showed up on Tuesday during when the actual floor was opening, and my buddy was like, "Dude, Phantom Dust," and I was like, "What?" And I was like looking up the trailers like on my phone while at E3 because they didn't have a booth for it or anything because it's like I said, it was pretty much just a CGI trailer at this point. And I was like, "Well, there goes my choice. I got to get an Xbox One." So Phantom Dust, hands down, game I'm most excited for. This is a very comfortable chair. I got it on a Black Friday sale. It was like $180, which is great because I think retail it was like a $350 chair. I was like, yes, please, I will take this deal. Swipe. So this is what I do most of my recording in, and then I got the big chair here for long console gaming sessions when you're sitting there playing Skyrim over an extended period of time. It's pretty nice. It's pretty comfy. And then my delicious arrogant bastard ale right here to just cool down after all the travel. But all right, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me go. I'm gonna go to my list of the trailers I've been uploading, and then I can talk more about the different games I got to play based on that. So, okay, first trailer I had uploaded was Battlecry. Now, Battlecry is still a while off, but it's looking really good so far. Their idea behind Battlecry is they want it to be like a free-to-play, not necessarily a MOBA because there's no like micro and creeps early on, but it's kind of how Team Fortress is. So you're going to be when we played, at least it was 8-on-8, and you pick your class, and each class has a specialization. So you have like the guy with the sword, and he can like spin around and cut people and charge ahead and do like a big smash, or you can block with it. I ended up playing probably the stealth class the most. You have one part to let you go invisible, one that was like a ranged lightning attack, and one that was like a flurry of like you dive towards them and like a spiral, and then just follow up with a ton of slashes. But that, I mean, it was really fun because you're running around cutting people down, and the maps are made to have high mobility. So there's like nodes you'll see in the sky, and you can jump at these little nodes and shoot these. It's kind of like a I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like Rayman in a sense, I guess. But you like shoot out this little grapple, and you hit the node, and then you swing up onto the platform, and then you keep running around. So it's very, very fast paced, very team oriented, and as you get kills, you build up this meter, and you can use that to either like pop it to get a quick kill if it's like a 1 versus 2, you need to survive, or if like you have a bunch of people, you can pop it and basically go beast mode and just slaughter a ton of people. So that's it's nice that you're getting rewarded for playing well. So following that, we have The Evil Within, and I gotta say, the game looks good, but oh man, that game is not fucking around. Like, I remember playing like the old Resident Evils when I was a kid, and they were scary, but it wasn't anything too bad. And Dead Space used to be scary, but it didn't really, like, by the last Dead Space, like, I don't know, when I played Dead Space, I was really aggressive. I was like, yeah, motherfucker, get stomped, fucking pussy, fucking die. So it kind of took away from the fear because I just had so much energy and anger going out at like the necromorphs that I refused to get scared. But The Evil Within, man, that game is in a completely different field. Like, and there's, there's the just your regular jump scares like you're gonna see in a lot of horror games. There's just unexpected shit that'll suddenly happen. A lot of like camera panning, like you'll just like hear some little girl fucking laughing all of a sudden. And probably the scariest thing is every now and then there's stuff in the game that you just can't beat. Like this dude will show up and like you'll see him like a glimpse of him, like he'll flash, and when you see him, you're like, oh fuck, and you just have to get somewhere and you have to hide, like crawl under a bed real fast. And you'll see his feet and he's walking closer, but you can't damage him at all. So there's parts that you're gonna be met with where your only choice is to fucking hide or run, and that's it. And it's like, coming from the perspective of Dead Space, and that's really the only survival horror I got involved in. It's like a completely different ball game because I'm used to being like the regenerators. Like you can't kill them, but I was like, whatever, fucking stasis, shattered into 100 pieces. You can sit there and go fuck yourself. I'm gonna run away. You're not an issue. And in this game, you can't do that. And the ammo is actually like hard to find. I mean, in the demo portion we played, we were on, I think it was like chapter 8, and there were like a bunch of different doors. I was going through doors, couldn't really figure out where I was going, and like the door is just like creepy ass, and it closes behind you real slow, and it's loud. And you're like, man, I don't like this. And there's shadows all over, and it's scary. So if you like horror games, Evil Within is going to be amazing. You're gonna love it. I'll say that. So going up from there, we have Assassin's Creed Unity. I mean, I don't know what you can say about that game. It is awesome. In terms of specifics, the single player adventure still is the focus of the story. Because I know a lot of people have questions about this, but at the same time, the multiplayer way, it's been integrated so that there's a ton of multiplayer missions available. And one of the cool things I like now is that the missions are being set up to be more dynamic. Whereas in the older Assassin's Creed series, it would be like your objective is to, tail Joe Schmo. And if the tail fucks up, it's just like mission failed and it desyncs and you go back. Which, was kind of annoying. You're like, alright, I guess I'm gonna do this again. And there's a new one, like, so you'll say you're tailing Joe Schmo, you fuck up the tail, it'll transition into a chase all of a sudden. Or some guards will come out and surround you and you have to fight them off and chase after this guy. And you'll have like a minute to catch him or something. If you don't, he disappears. So then you have to go into like scout mode and get up on top of a building and use eagle vision and hunt down where this guy went and then go in for your assassinate. So the way the missions evolve in the game is different this time around, which I think is really cool. As for the multiplayer aspect, and this is one of the things that sucks about getting an Xbox One, is PS4. I know they're going to have a system where, like, if I had Assassin's Creed, but one of you guys didn't, and you wanted to play, each person, I believe, and I think it might only be through pre-order, but I know you get like 10 passes, and you can just send them to your friends, and they can join in the game and play with you, which I think is really cool because you're getting people that like I have friends that they just don't have the money to spend on games. They have bills to pay and stuff, and I'm doing a little bit better than they might be, so I'm like I'm picking up games left and right. I have to do it for the channel anyway, but I could be like, yo, you want to play Assassin's Creed? And they'd be like, oh, I don't have it, and I'm like, boom, now you do, and then we're playing Assassin's Creed together. So that's a really cool concept. On top of that, a lot of work is being done on the multiplayer missions, so you're going to have 4-player co-op missions, and they're integrating them really nicely. Like, we only got to see the 4-player co-op, we didn't get to play it, but from the actual gameplay that we got to see, it looks really good so far, and it's not like Wolfpack is the only real 4-player co-op you've ever seen in Assassin's Creed, and it has elements of that, but not exactly. Like, whereas in Wolfpack, you had like the double sync kills. You don't have the stuff like that anymore. It's just a lot more fluid this time around, which is nice. So, I mean, I'm really excited for it. Not to mention it's based in France, which Ubisoft is a French company, so you'd expect them that their shit's going to be like right on point. I mean, we're going back to where they're based out of, so they're going to be on top of their game this time around. Next up on the list, Far Cry 4. Oh man, Far Cry 4. Okay, so the demo was set up. You could go one of three ways. You could either like ride in a battle on an elephant, you could stealth in, or you could fly this little helicopter and shoot down with like a grenade launcher. So I went for the stealth approach. Um, you have a crossbow. It's like rapid fire crossbow, which I wasn't really a fan of because I really like the bow and drawing it back and having to angle your shot just right. And the crossbow was still pretty lethal, but I felt like it was closer to a gun because I could just be like pop, pop, pop and rapid fire people off. That being said, I was trying to. I mean, it was basically a base capture I was doing. I mean, there wasn't even really a mission set up, but like you find a point on a cliff and you throw up a grappling hook. There's like certain points you can get the grappling hook up, and so you throw that up, you climb up. I snipe the one guy down, and then I'd start working my way in, and if one person saw you, like I didn't even see, like I was trying to catch the alarms, but I didn't have, like the potions that like, reveal everyone on the radar or anything like that. And I mean, like I took out one alarm, took out like 3 or 4 guys, and then one spotted me, and it was done. Like so many fucking guys. And I mean, in the last in the last Far Cry, we did the live streams where like I'd get it down to where I'd have them coming in, and like eventually a helicopter would show up, but like I don't think there was ever more than 10 enemies on a screen at once, and even then they're pretty easy to dispatch. There were times in that demo, like I died like 3 times I think in the demo, and there were 30 to 40 guys attacking at any given time. Like I was pretty much dipping from cover to cover healing, just trying to stay alive, and the damage is a lot higher. Like it was like 2-3 shots and you were just dead. Mechanics were smooth. You could still do like the run and the slides and stuff. You still have the wingsuit. You have the grappling hook now. So a lot of the mechanics that people really enjoyed about Far Cry 3 are still in place, and the difficulty this time around is a lot better compared. Um, I'm gonna roll up I've been just babbling. I haven't really looked at comments much. A couple people asked about Bloodborne, and sadly, Bloodborne, there was nothing more than just a demo of it. It was completely behind closed doors. So, I mean, there was a pretty long line for it, and I mean, I was more interested in just other developers. So by the time I didn't even go over to the Sony or the Microsoft booths until day 2, because I went and I saw all the Warner Brothers stuff, all the 2K gaming stuff, all the Ubisoft stuff. And then day 2, I moseyed over there, and by that point, they were just out of appointments. So I was like, oh well, because I'm not a big console exclusive person, so didn't get to even check Bloodborne. But I mean, being behind closed doors, it's kind of lame for me. I'd rather, I want to get in, I want to see a gameplay demo of it, and I want to get my hands on with it. So there's a question about Phantom Dust. basically the way Phantom Dust works, which is really cool, is it's kind of like an online battle arena type game. Like you could play 1v1, 2v2, four-way battle royale, 1 vs 3, however you want to set up the teams. And you basically have, it's kind of like, Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, and then you have a deck, or in this game it's called an arsenal. So you'd have energy, and as you pick up these energy, they're white capsules, you pick them up, and when you use them, your total energy count goes up to like 1 for each one you use. So after you've picked up and used 4, your energy counts at 4. And your moves cost this energy to spend. So if I have like Flame Sword, which costs 3, when I swing a Flame Sword, my energy would go down to 1, and it would slowly build back up to 4. So at any given time, you have 4 capsules, which are your A, X, Y, and Bs, and then 3 capsules that have spawned on the screen. And as you pick up capsules, new ones will begin to spawn. So your arsenal that's kind of like your deck, right? And it has all the capsules that you've put in it. So there's some that are defensive, and there's a lot of variety here. Like there's, all right, so just you have attack, defensive, status effects, erase, and environmental. I want to say those are the 5. I haven't played in like a month or so. But attack, it goes all over the place. There's abilities that would crawl along the ground and hit people, abilities that you'd shoot from afar, abilities that would ricochet, abilities that were close range melee, abilities that were swords, abilities that you like leap through the air with a giant slash with. And in shields, there were, shields that would erase stuff, shields that would disable the person, shields that would, freeze their abilities for a certain amount of time. You had status effects to like increase your damage, increase your speed. Erasing skills, where you could erase somebody's skill before they even hit you, or run over and pop their bubbles before they got to use them. And then environmental stuff, like create it so that, only stuff that costs above 5 could be used, or only stuff that costs 2 energy could be used, or changes so that faith spells can't be used. And so you're running around in this environment, and you're actively running in the game. Like, so it's like I said, online battle arena type thing. So you're running around, you're picking up these skills, and you're fighting. So it's like Magic the Gathering combined with like a first person Devil May Cry. I don't even know, man, because the game's third person, but I don't know. There's nothing else like Phantom Dust. You can look up gameplay footage of it to get a better idea. I might do a walkthrough for it, or at least do like a stream of it or something, now that I know that there's a re-release coming, just to give some people a better idea of the game. But, I mean, there's nothing else out there like Phantom Dust. It's just, it's an IP completely independent of everything else. It was an amazing idea when it came out, and the fact that it came out 10 years ago, and you still have a fan base that's been like, bring us back this game. I think that says something about it. Like, out of everything on Xbox, like, I mean, everyone remembers, shit like Halo, or, I don't know, Halo is the only game I remember on original Xbox, aside from fucking Phantom Dust. Like, it's just that good of a game. I mean, even 10 years later, it's still that good of a game, so. Needless to say, I'm really excited to bring that. Okay. Indoor scenes in Assassin's Creed. I did not do Borderlands yet. Next is The Division. So, I gotta say, The Division looks really, really good. I got some B-roll footage. I haven't had time to add any of my commentary onto this stuff yet. I keep meaning to. But, I was talking about The Division earlier, but I mean, the combat's really solid. There's still little tweaks that need to happen, I think, but the way it's working so far, it's coming along nicely. The multiplayer is looking really good. I mean, just straight combat-based plays similar to the other Splinter Cell games, but you have this large multiplayer aspect in, and on top of that, there's a lot more team awareness this time. So kind of think like, the only thing I can think that really compares to it is like Horde mode in Gears of War, where, you're running around and you're like, oh, there's guys coming from this direction, and, you have to, like, suddenly there's, a flamethrower dude over there, and you gotta worry about that flamethrower guy. And that's just like the co-op transition part. That's not even like the multiplayer element, which I'm sure that's gonna be a monster completely of its own. No more Dark Souls tournaments in the future. We've been over this. Dark Souls is done. Borderlands. So, Borderlands. Oh, man. Got to play Borderlands for probably about 30 minutes total. The first time I went in, I played Athena. I had a little bit of trouble adjusting to the gravity until I figured it out. It's like you got the jump and you have a jetpack on. So you could just kind of jump and then jump again, and you just keep going and gliding slowly. But, I mean, Borderlands is looking really, really good. Combat improvements, there's lasers now, which are really interesting, like fiery lasers and lasers that freeze people. That's one of the cool things, is elements are a lot more integrated than before. Whereas, before you just had a weapon with fire on it and the guy might catch on fire, you're actually shooting these big red lasers that just light them on fire. You have guns that will freeze people solid, and you can punch them and they shatter. You can pick up, one of the cool things when you jump in the air, and you can get really high now because of low gravity, when you press crouch, your guy does like this big ground stomp, comes flying down to the ground, and it does a knockback AoE to everything around. And you can get elements that will imbue that, kind of how you could imbue your regular skills back in in Borderlands 1. So that's really nice. As for playable, so far only Wilhelm and Athena were playable. I got to play both. Personally, I enjoyed Athena a lot more just because, throwing the shield around was pretty awesome. And on top of that, when you had it up, you felt like you were just fucking unkillable. Wilhelm it was interesting because it was still bot oriented, but whereas in Borderlands 1 and 2, you had the turret where you just throw it out and it would sit. They would follow you around, and you had one that's like shooting rockets out, and one that's like regenerating your shields and shooting people with a little machine gun, and you can upgrade them differently and get like an extra rocket launcher on your thing, or get a third bot that comes out. So it was really cool how they still had a bot-based character, but they changed it around to, break away from just throwing down a turret, which I thought was nice. I did not get my new hands on the Halo. Nobody did. It's like they don't even have an alpha available of it yet. I didn't get to play Destiny either. Destiny has its alpha, which I was offered, but it's for PS4 only, which is stupid. So I gave away my alpha key. Just told him to pass it on to a different partner. I was like, well, I'm not gonna buy a PS4 just to play Destiny alpha, so I'll pass on that. But okay. So Borderlands, we talked about Phantom Dust. Mortal Kombat X. So this was another good one, and I was surprised because Mortal Kombat, you think, okay, another year of Mortal Kombat. What could they, honestly, what could they do to still make Mortal Kombat good? That game is, it's so old. I mean, the last one was good, but still, like, how much can you change? And I gotta say, it's looking good. So, for starters, there's environmental stuff you can use now. And I don't mean like, knocking somebody into the pit of acid like you could in the old games. And somebody mentioned on the Mortal Kombat video that I think, Injustice has it. But like basically, like if there's a tree branch, you can grab the tree branch, hit somebody in the face with it. If there's a fallen down barrel, you can press a button while you're near it, kick it across the screen, and hit somebody with it. On top of that, your characters have specialization. So I played Scorpion the majority of the time I was there. They had like 8 different guys. I tried out a few, but Scorpion was my go-to, so that's what I stuck with. And when you would pick them, you could either have a focus on like ninjutsu, your Hellfire, or I think it was Shadow Clones maybe. And so you still had your core Scorpion moves, your basic combos, your spear, of course. But if I took the Hellfire stuff, I could do where like I could control a fire close, medium, or far. If I went for the ninjutsu, I had the sword combos where you could get up and you're spinning the swords around to do more combo chains. And if I went for the Shadow Clone build, I could do it where I have like the quick teleport kicks that are coming from behind and the teleport uppercuts and all that stuff. So while your hero, or I mean not your hero, but your favorite character still has his core moves that makes him him, you can customize it to a certain extent. So while trying to think, like while ninjutsu might not be good against Sub-Zero, because he's got these ice clones and I can't get him for combos, if I was to do the Shadow Clone build where I'm teleporting from behind and kicking him and stuff, I can get around those ice clones and take him out easier. So it's just helping to add additional balance to the game. Whereas before there were certain things like, oh, so and so can't beat so and so. That's just how it works. Now it's a lot more balanced to help accommodate for that. I also played a lot of Shadow of Mordor, like probably like 2 hours worth of Shadow of Mordor, because I was supposed to play well, I played Mortal Kombat. What the hell, my stream's not refreshed. Let me make sure I'm not dropping frames. Okay, it doesn't look like I'm dropping frames, so fuck it. But I played Mortal Kombat, and then they pulled me into Shadow of Mordor, and I was trying that out, and then after like, I don't even know, maybe 45 minutes, I was like, when's the next Batman show? And they're like, oh, that was like 15 minutes ago. I'm like, oh. They're like, just keep playing. So I just sat there and just kept playing Shadow of Mordor until I had like done a ton of shit. I mean, and then on top of that, at the end of the day, they rounded up all the machinima guys and they pulled us back in after E3 had shut down, back in for like an after-hours session. And it was funny because like you had a person from Warner Brothers with each of us, and the girl's explaining stuff to me, and she's like, "Sorry, so this is how you do it." I'm like, I'm like, listen, I was in here earlier for like an hour playing this. I got it down. She's like, oh, what do you want to do? I'm like, let's go do some crazy shit. So I basically shadow mounted one of the big troll type things, and was going around crushing people, knocking them away, biting heads off of them. And then eventually I went like balls deep into basically the big orc stronghold, and was like, we're gonna see how many people I can fight before they kill me. And I got up to something like, there had to be 40 orcs in this fight before they took me down. But I mean, I was jumping all over the place in the fight. I was using the wraith based magic. I was using the combos, like exploding people's heads, like all kinds of shit. You can probably still put in 10 plus combos, but I mean, I don't know. I wasn't a giant combo-rific person in MK9, so I can't really attest to it. But I know the guy I was playing, at least they had like a Warner Brothers guy playing with me, and I was like whooping his ass. And then I was like, come on, man. I was like, I know you're demoing me the game, but you can't play like a little bitch. And then he started like going into combos all of a sudden. I was like, there we go. Now you're introducing me to your new game. And he was doing some pretty dirty combos. So I want to say he got like, I think a 12 hit combo on me, which is pretty nuts. But I mean, the game's good. It's definitely, it's where Mortal Kombat should be. And it has a lot of the stuff from MK9, but a lot of stuff that's going to make it fresh. So Shadow of Mordor, though, like I was saying, that's going to be fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I was running around, and like what I ended up doing, actually, I caught one general and I converted him to my side, and then after that I had to, I was like looking for a different general to go for, so I sent the guy that I'd captured after a different one, and basically showed up for this like fight event that was going down, and the guy I'd captured had like a bunch of archers, so I'm sitting here in the thick of things, like killing lieutenants left and right. And the general we went after was one of like the strongest generals there. Like, he was stacked. Like, and they have certain stats, and this one had like battle mastery, which basically means like until he's the last man standing, you're just not fucking killing this guy. He's just too damn strong. And what ended up happening was I had archers, and then these guys that were throwing javelins, and you don't think much, like, oh, they're little javelin guys, they're not going to do much. The javelin guys fucking destroyed him. Like, his health was just like pew, 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 pew. And that was it. Best thing about Shadow of Mordor, though, probably the wraith abilities, because you can, like, when you would tap the button, and you'd have oh no, I mean, not tap it, you'd hold it, and you'd have like a wraith lock on for a second. If somebody was running, you could either press X to jump over to them with a hit, or press Y to jump over them with an execute if they were like alone. And I'm trying to think like what to compare this execute to that I've played lately. Like, there's not much. I mean, it's like fucking Bleach. Like, you were just like zipping across the screen, and all of a sudden your hands on the back of the dude's head, and a sword's going up through him, and then his face explodes, and you're just like, oh shit. Like, it's brutal. Yeah. So I didn't get to check out Order 1886. There was a booth set up for it, and then there was one, like a mini one, over in the PS4 area. But just because it was an exclusive, I didn't really get a chance to try it out. I did get to play the new Smash Brothers though, which was pretty awesome. I played Greninja, I played Samus, I played Pikachu, and I played Link. I actually won with Pikachu. Um, Greninja, I couldn't figure it out, and the guys I was playing with at the time, it's like I said, like these were, like there was no like, hey, come and sit down and just try out the new Smash Brothers and figure it out. Like when you got up to Smash Brothers, it was you and three other people, and you were going at each other's throats because the winner got a T-shirt. So there was no fucking time to like be like, oh, I haven't played this in years. Let me see how I do. It was just like, you better get your shit together if you want this T-shirt, otherwise you're getting back in this fucking line and waiting to play again. So I didn't get to really try out Greninja all that much, which he's like one of the Pokemon I use. So I was, trying to kind of hoping he would be good. But I mean, I ended up winning a T-shirt with Pikachu, so I'm happy with that. But new Smash it's good. It's definitely good. As for Nintendo specifically, I didn't get to play Splatoon, but I was watching a bunch of people play it. Really interesting concept. It's like the kind of game I guess you could like sit down your kid and just leave him alone for like an hour and he would have a blast with. But I mean, running around painting everything doesn't really seem like something I would enjoy. Tried out Hyrule Warriors, which was actually pretty sweet. Very, very similar to Dynasty Warriors, and it's pretty much, to my understanding, it's being made by the same guys that made Dynasty Warriors. But there's a couple new elements. You have, well, obviously, it's all based around like the lore of Link and the people and that IP. But there's like boss fights. So I was like fighting this. It was like King Drudogo or something, big ass salamandery looking motherfucker, and I had to like dodge roll to the side to avoid this thing he was trying to do where he was trying to eat me, and then go back in with a bunch of attacks, and then dodge again and go back in with a bunch of attacks. Then eventually there was like a critical point, and Link like jumps up in the air and does this crazy flip, and then like stabs him in the head and slices through, and he dies. And I was like, yeah. So that's good. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Um, yeah, you had to kill people for a shirt. And yes, The Witcher 3. Oh man, I haven't put up any Witcher 3 stuff yet. I've been meaning to, but like they sent me, like I have, here's all my press cards. I met some other Machinima people. Here's all the stuff from 2K. Here's the guy from Warner Brothers. Um and then we got like this one's like the Square Enix, this one's Ubisoft, this one's Bethesda, this one's 2K. And I was checking out Bethesda right now. The stuff for Witcher that they have up on the press vault, it's all in French. So I downloaded some of the B-roll footage because I was gonna, I wanted to put up a video for you guys. What the hell is this? It's like something on my table. It's weird. But I wanted to put up a video, and there's like all the French dialogue in the background, and I'm like, fuck, I can't put that in. Like, what the hell? So, that's gonna be coming soon though. I'll get my hands on it soon enough. But my camera's finally getting to the point where I had the business cards. You can't really see them at all, just with the lighting. Whatever, fuck it. It doesn't matter. But yeah, The Witcher looks really good. He was showing me the town and the environment, and they actually showed us one of the hunts. They went after a griffin, and it was like really cool. Like the guy crept up on the griffin, and he hit it with this like tri-crossbow, and it caused it to bleed. So then the griffin would fly off, and he would go into like a tracker sense and follow the blood trail. And he came up on basically like this chick getting raped in a village, slaughters those guys. The combat is really good now. Like the magic is fucking on point. Like the way he was using Igni, he was just like, and it like started off looking like a just like some fiery sparks, and then like later on, I don't know if he like upgraded it somewhere because I didn't see him upgrade, or if it was just like a tap versus hold type mechanic. But halfway through, it was like he was casting fucking flamethrower in this dude's face, and that shit was awesome. I was just like, damn, spells are looking good. And of course, you still have like your one silver sword and then your one steel sword, and you slaughter stuff. And he was fighting the griffin, and then after he kills it, he like cut off the griffin's head and you chain a hook around it and put it on your horse and ride back into the town. And it's gonna be good though. Witcher looked amazing. That's there wasn't a gameplay demo of it, but it looked really good, and it should be a good time. So yeah, we're definitely gonna be playing The Witcher 3. How are you turned off by the Witcher series, Cyclone? The Witcher series is great. So Call of Duty, I did get to see the new Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. They didn't have a hands-on available of it. They only had the gameplay demo, but I got to see 2 missions of it. One of them they showed to everyone, and then the second one was like an infiltration camp. But I'll talk about Call of Duty. It's fine. I mean, I'm not going to put it on my channel, but people are interested about it, I'm sure. So, but there are, I mean, it's the same dog with a couple new tricks. There are a couple tricks that are pretty cool now. There's basically a thermal grenade. Like, well, for one, the grenades are cool. When you pull out the grenades, you like switch it. So you're like click, 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 and it's like, you know, frag, seeker, flashbang, thermal, whatever the case is. And the guy would throw it out, and it would basically do a thermal imaging map, and you could see every enemy in the vicinity. So that was really cool. On top of that, you have like exosuits now, so you're able to like boost jump and like rip off car doors and use them as riot shields. And the gunplay is about the same, you know, it's gunplay. You have an active like kind of nanosuit type stealth like you do in Crisis that, you know, you use and then you recharge. I'm trying to think if there's a spider tank type deal that you get to play with late in the game, and you can either shoot EMPs out with it, or you can just use a big cannon or like a bunch of Hellfire missiles. So, I mean, there's some cool stuff, but you know, it wasn't. At the end of the day, it's still Call of Duty. Halo 5 wasn't available for show at all, aside from like the press demo they did of it, and that wasn't even a demo; it was like a reveal trailer. That was the only thing. Like you didn't even. There wasn't anything set up in the Microsoft area for Halo 5. The big Microsoft thing set up this time around was Sunset Overdrive, which I didn't play at all. I was talking to some other people in the network had played it, and they just, well, from what they had told me about it, I decided it wasn't worth wasting the time on to sit and get a chance to get in there. So I didn't end up doing Sunset Overdrive. Personally, I'm not really that excited about the game. If Phantom Dust is actually the only reason I'm getting an Xbox One, otherwise I would be getting a PS4 because there's just a lot more exclusivity coming to the console. And then on top of that, you have like Tales of Xillia, and I'm a huge fan of the Tales series, and those aren't going to be on Xbox at all. But I love Phantom Dust, so I will get an Xbox One just for Phantom Dust. I'm trying to think what else. What else did I play? I mean, I got to play a bunch of little games. I got to play the new Dead Rising game. I got to play Killer Instinct. I got to play the new not War of Tanks, War of Warships, or whatever it is. I think that's actually already out already. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, which sucks. I don't want to sneeze over my laptop screen. Excuse me. Hopefully that didn't kill everyone's ears. I'm trying to think what else I got my hands on. There was a lot. There was a WildStar tournament I got to play in. Picked up a bunch of swag. I have a whole bag over there just filled with goodies. Got like headbands. Oh, Evolve. Did not talk about Evolve. Evolve! Woo! Evolve is going to be good. So, the premise of Evolve, if you haven't heard about Evolve so far, is it's 1 versus 4. I'm rolling a cigarette, by the way, if you're wondering why I keep disappearing halfway off screen. So you're a 4-man squad. You have a medic, a trapper, a support, and then an assault. The player playing solo is the creature. So at E3, they had basically an Evolve tournament going on, which was pretty sweet. And a bunch of the guys I know got to play in it, so I didn't get to participate, sadly. I thought I was going to, but I didn't respond to my damn email fast enough, so didn't get to play in the tournament. But despite that, it was pretty awesome just sitting there and watching it. We all went out for wings afterwards and talked about it. And, I mean, the gameplay's solid. It's very much a team game. Oh man, I see. I guess the sneeze just happened because I see people already talking about oh god, my ears. So the sneeze definitely came in. But so as the monster, it starts off, you're roaming around the map, and there's regular like NPC monsters, and you kill them and you eat them, and as you keep eating them, you build up this meter to evolve, there's certain ones that you can kill and they'll give you a buff like cooldown reduction, increased speed, increased stamina, stuff like that. Meanwhile, the hunters, they're going around and also building up and, you know, becoming stronger as well. And the idea is the monster needs to either kill all 4 hunters or kill the generator. When one hunter goes down, a 2-minute dropship timer starts. So if he can finish off the rest of the hunters in that 2-minute timer, game's over there. If even one hunter escapes, the rest will come back down on a dropship. So, I mean, the gameplay was really solid, though. Like, you had, you know, the medic is able to pick people up, and everybody can pick everybody up, but you get a penalty if you don't... If the medic's not the one doing the rezzing, there's a small penalty that comes along with it. I don't know about 12. I mean, there were only 4 right now. That's because I use my own tubes. That's why. And then I have this. This is a little thing of tobacco. And you use this little machine. And you put your thingy in, and you sprinkle it. And then you go like this. And then you have a cigarette. It's quite convenient. But yeah, so they only had the one monster in those 4 classes playable so far, but the dynamic was really cool. You know, you had the trapper was like throwing down these harpoon tethers, and they would shoot out and catch the monster and lock him in place. You had the assault going in with like a minigun and a flamethrower doing the damage. You had the medic that was going on rezzing people, and on top of that, there were little points that would show up on the monster, and if you managed to hit the monster with a sniper rifle, it would cause like an increased damage buff to go out. And then you had the support who's like throwing out fucking sentry turrets, and he's getting a track off on the monster. I mean, and like just the way everybody on the team came together to kill the monster was exciting. And at the monster, you have like certain abilities, like you had like a lightning strike you could call down, vortex, which was like a big frontal cone AoE. You had this thing called your shockwave, or no, not shockwave, I think it was overcharge, but you'd get close and it would do like this big AoE burst out from you. And then you had banshee mines, which you'd send out these little mines and they would seek towards the person and explode for lots of damage. But that game, that game is going to be awesome. Like, and they had that all over. I mean, they had Evolve, they had it set up at the PS4 area, they had it set up at the Xbox area. Evolve itself at the 2K booth is probably one of the biggest booths of E3. If you went across the street to like the Nvidia chill section, they had it set up there. It was just all over the place, and for good reason. I mean, the game it's looking good. It's going to be a lot of fun when it comes out for sure. I'm trying to think, what else is there? There's a wall, Rainbow Six Siege. I didn't get to play it, but that looked awesome. They showed us some gameplay footage, and the guy, like, it looked like fully destructible environments. Like, dude was like pop-shotting through the wall, and like the drywall was breaking away, and he was killing people, and I was like, that looks cool. But yeah, didn't get to play it at all. Only saw the gameplay trailer for it, but looked good. I got to drink with the devs from WildStar. That was pretty sweet. I got to meet a bunch of other YouTube guys. Ghost Robo, Jobless Gamers, Riot Gaming. I'm trying to think who else. I was actually talking to Jobless Gamers quite a bit. I think I might end up, we'll probably end up doing some kind of co-op play or a co-op series or something in the near future. We all went out to Hooters afterwards. I had a bunch of wings, and I wasn't the only one drinking, but I'm like the machinima alcoholic, I found out, because no one else drinks but me. So everyone else was like, water please. I'm like, yes, I'll have the tallest beer you have. But I'm also a lot older than some of these guys, so I think that's part of it is I'm the old guy. I want to just drink and relax, and that's what I do now. I'm trying to think any other games off the top of my head. got to play in the Final Fantasy Leviathan tournament. That was pretty cool. We had some noob on our team that fucking was running into walls, though. It was terrible. We would have won if it wasn't for him. Didn't get to play Forza. I mean, it was set up, but I don't know. Like, I've played racing games, and they're just... See, the problem with something like Forza, or any of the racing games for that matter at E3, is the way they're set up is they have the full-blown simulation where, you know, you're like in the race seat, and it shakes back and forth while you're driving, and, you know, like the tri-screens around you, and they only have like 2 of these fucking things set up. So, whereas the other, like for Borderlands, for example, they'd pull in like, you know, 20 people at once. So the line would go fast. You'd have, you know, like the first time I sat through the presentation, they got me straight in. Second time, I was like, I just want to play this. So I just waited through the line with everybody. And, you know, it was maybe 15, 20 minutes. Sat there playing my DS for a little bit. With, like, the racing thing, man, this line had, like, the people in this line were, like, sitting down and waiting. Like, no, I didn't do fucking Little Big Planet, Cram. I don't have a PlayStation. Besides, it's a fucking platformer, bro. I don't play platformers. You know this. But basically, the lines were fucking big for the racing games, so I didn't bother playing them. Because, you know, there was no, like, setup with the controller. Got to do the new Dead Space Arcade Edition. That was interesting. I played as Ryu, so I was just, like, Hadoukening stuff and doing the spin kicks around. It was alright, but I don't know. It wasn't that much fun. Like, after about 5 minutes of it, I was like, alright, well, this has been fun. I think I'm going to move on from this. I played the new Naruto game that's going to be coming out. That was pretty cool. You had, like, super combo ninjutsus with your partner. So I did, like, this crazy-ass Naruto Sasuke combo. And then there was a Sasuke and, what's his fucking name? I can't remember his name. Whatever, Sasuke's older brother. I can't remember his name right now. I feel bad now because I always play him. Now I gotta Google it. Itachi, that's it. Okay, yeah, so it was like an Itachi Sasuke combo, and then like lock somebody in this crazy sealed prison and blow it up and do a bunch of damage, so that was cool. I'm trying to think game-wise. Gone over all of Ubisoft's, all of 2K. Oh yeah, AC Unity, we've been over that. Didn't really look at anything EA had up. They had Sims 4 set up, they had up Dragon Age, and they had up Titanfall, and all their sports games. But, like, EA was, like, they're like a clusterfuck. Whereas, like, you know, everybody else, like, you know, like, the WB card is, like, WB, and then in the back it's, like, E3 press assets, and your ID and your password, and it's set up, and I showed up, and they, like, had an appointment already booked for me, and they pulled me in, and they're like, you know, here, have some coffee, have a donut, have a bagel, whatever, and they'd pull me into one game, and then I'd step out and get another coffee, and they'd pull me into another game. E3 was, or not E3, but EA was just a clusterfuck. I showed up to their PR desk to, like, check in, and they're like, oh, we don't have anything. And I'm like, all right, well, you know, do you guys at least have, like, a press kit or something? Like, because I wasn't really, like, Dragon Age, what is it, Inquisition. I was like, you know, I'd probably check that out. That's like the only IP you have right now that I'd consider playing. But I still was like, you know, whatever. Even though I don't really care, let me try and get in here anyway. And I was like, what, do you guys have your press kit? And they basically were like, no. They gave me a piece of paper that had like ea.press.com written on it. I'm like, this is your press kit. Okay. And it's like a generic fucking website with like no B-roll footage, no big time trailers, basically just like a news outlet. I was like, man, you guys fucking suck. Like, so that was my experience with EA at E3. Needless to say, that company just fucking sucks dick. Like, I don't know. I can't stand EA. I think they're a shit company to begin with, and they just kind of reaffirmed it when I got to meet all their PR staff. So, womp womp. Didn't get to play Arkham Knight only because I was about to play Arkham Knight, but I was mentioning earlier, I ended up just playing Shadow of Mordor for like an hour and a half instead, and missed my time slot for Arkham Knight. So that kind of sucked because Arkham was really filled up. Like I had like one time slot to get into that, and then I was like, oh, I missed that. And they're like, yeah, keep playing this. And I'm like, okay. So didn't get to try it out. Don't know anything about it. They had a big armored Batman car set up. That was kind of cool. Got to see the new Gauntlet game in action. It looks just like the old Gauntlet game did with slightly upgraded graphics, which is good. The old Gauntlet game was fun. Metal Gear, they only had a gameplay demo up. I didn't bother watching it because it was Konami's little line with just Metal Gear, and I was like, I haven't played Metal Gear since like Metal Gear 2, so it kind of felt silly for me to try and get involved in that franchise now. I think what else? There was a bunch of stuff, man. Like I said, didn't get to check out Destiny, sadly, and can't do the alpha gameplay since I don't have a PS4. I think what else I played. Got to play Tales of Xillia 2. That was pretty awesome. It was just set up to like mess around with. I don't know if anyone here is a Tales fan, but I thought it was good. You had like 3 different weapons you could switch between, and it still had like that active combat system that Tales games are known for. I didn't even know about No Man's Sky. So yeah, I guess it was just a press conference because I didn't see any kind of booth related to that at all, even set up. My beer is coming to an end here. That's depressing because that's all the beer I have. But I mean, we've been going about an hour at this point. Oh, Terry, there's no way to get it too long. Didn't read. We've gone into too many games. You're just gonna have to watch the whole thing later. I mean, I'm gonna try and keep the video short. Axiom Verge, didn't even see anything about that at E3, so I'm not even sure what that is. But like I said, we're about at an hour. So any last minute question? Like pretty much any game I've got to experience, I've already talked about. So at this point, I'm going to take any last minute questions you guys have, any spot questions about the games I've gone over, and I'll answer those. And then after that, we'll wrap the stream up because I still have more footage I have to add commentary on to. I haven't been able to do anything. So I know Turtle just asked, what was your favorite out of everything I played? I'd have to bring it down to either Shadow of Mordor or Borderlands the pre-sequel. From what I played, Borderlands the pre-sequel looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. New weapons, a lot of new mechanics, all new character builds. I'll be able to do, whole new build videos, and that'll be really cool. There you go, Rambo. You'll like Tail. It was good. You had I had dual blades, a hammer, and dual pistols, and I was able to spot switch between them in combat, and chain in your magic and stuff, and it looked good. If I had a PS4, I'd get the first one and Tales of Xillia too, because the last one I played was Tales of Vesperia, and I fucking loved that game. I thought that was fantastic. So I wish they were cross-platform, because I'd get it in a heartbeat. Like I was saying, so I'd probably give it to Borderlands, I think, just because I liked Shadow of Mordor, but it was relatively limited in what I could do. Like, I had this one region I was in, and I couldn't leave that, so I was just slaughtering orcs, and it kind of reminded me of the Assassin's Creed live streams where I would just like go into Havana or whatever and just mercilessly kill everybody there. I mean, obviously there were a lot more people to kill, but Borderlands was just a lot of fun. Borderlands is an IP I've always enjoyed. I like the loot and the jumping around, and it's very fast paced and chaotic, and it's funny. So I'd probably give it to. It's close between the two, but I'd probably give it to Borderlands. I'm probably actually, once I get done this last piece, I'm off to watch some of the anime I gotta catch up on. I'm working on Black Bullet right now. It's a pretty good series. The new Elder Scrolls, there was nothing. Bethesda's booth had... What did Bethesda have? They had The Evil Within, they had ESO, and they had The Witcher. So The Witcher was great. Evil Within. No, never mind. They didn't have... No. Who was The Witcher? Was The Witcher part of Bethesda? I think The Witcher was under... I think they were under Warner Brothers, I want to say. I don't know. No, I want to look it up. I want to see who The Witcher 3 is being... Who is the publisher? Are they with Warner Brothers? Yeah, they were with Warner Brothers. Okay. Yeah, so then Bethesda would have been, they had Elder Scrolls Online, they had Evil Within, and they had Bloodborne. Or not Bloodborne, Battlecry. Yes. But yeah, no new Elder Scrolls title. I wish, dude. If there was like the next installment, I would have been all over that shit. I would have been like breaking open the Xbox and taking the demo disc. I'd be like, this is mine. But yeah, it was good. It was a good time. But all right. So last minute questions. I'm at 57 minutes on my end. You guys probably won't get this for like another 30 seconds or so. Let me just type out a comment. I'm gonna do some recording, watch some anime, and then I might do a match of Dota. I haven't played Dota in like 2 weeks, so it'd be nice to play a little Dota, relax. I ended up doing rated Battlegrounds last night in WildStar till like 4 a.m. just slaughtering people. It was beautiful. Got to play as I pretty much transitioned into like a full tank role at this point. Like even in BGs, I'm doing like flag carrying, but it's great because I'll have like 8 people on me, and I'm just like, LOL, bro, I'm not gonna die. And like even the people on my team are like, how are you not dead? And I'm like, I don't know, bitch, but it's still working. Oh yeah, pretty much anything, any video you see with everything on my channel I've put up so far, Battlecry, Evil Within, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Division, Borderlands, Phantom Dust, Mortal Kombat, every single one of those titles will have full Let's Play series. Borderlands, obviously, there's going to be tons of build videos. Assassin's Creed, I'm going to be doing the full weapons and outfit videos. Far Cry, I'll be doing all the weapons again like I did with the last one. I mean, I wanted to do that with Watch Dogs, but the weapon differences in Watch Dogs were so lackluster, I just didn't feel like it was really necessary. Phantom Dust, obviously, I'm going to have a bunch of sick fucking Arsenal builds. Batman Arkham, man, I don't know. I've thought about, like, now I have time because we're into the summer, and the next release, until we hit the fall releases, is like Reaper of Souls for Diablo 3, which I'm getting that. But, I mean, until that, I have time, so I don't know. When I was playing it, like, I started doing I've been on Realm Reborn, Austin. I beat the shit out of Realm Reborn. That game got beaten to the ground. I zipped through fucking turns 1 through 4 and got bored of it and left because the PvP sucked. Do I think gold is money? I'm not sure what that refers to. But as for Arkham Origins, I don't know. I mean, if I find the time to go back to it, I might. But I know after that first part I recorded, I went in and I did the free roam stuff because I usually I try to unlock different stuff on the map before I get too deep into the game. Same as I do with like any game like that, like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed, whatever the case is. And I just found that the combat was just really glitchy. Like there were parts where I'd like punch somebody and their body was like vibrating in the air, half stuck in a pillar, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, what is wrong with this shit? This is not polished. There's no way this is the full game. So, I don't know. I might end up going back to it. Like I said, I do want to do something for Phantom Dust. I'll probably just do some Phantom Dust videos going through and talking about, arsenals that I use and showing some combats so that people can get an idea of what the game's all about since they're going to be rebooting the series. Obviously I'm still working on WildStar a ton and my team's being lazy, so with the Lazy Guild I'll probably start doing RBGs and just recording those or streaming them or whatever the case is, which if we're doing more rated Battlegrounds tonight, I might stream those tonight. I'll have to ask the rest of the guys I play with and see what they want to do. So yeah, but we'll check with Origins. I know Dragon's Dogma was another possibility. I didn't finish that. Same with what's it called? The last Tom Clancy game. I didn't finish that. So there's a couple games I could go back to and look into now that I have time. But yeah, for now at least, I guess we're gonna catch this one off. Looks like the stream's starting to fuck up anyway. I just got an error. Please try again. So I don't know. I think I'm running. My laptop is overheating. I can hear it, so I know that is certainly an issue. Because it sounds like it's going to explode. Didn't get to play with the builds in the Division at all, but I mean, a lot of this stuff I'll be going more into. you know, I'll have gameplay videos going more into this stuff for you guys, and you know, talking a little bit more about specific mechanics to each game then as well. But anyway, for now we're just gonna wrap this one up. So thanks for coming by. Hopefully I answered a couple questions you guys had about E3 and gave you a little overview of what it was like. I mean, great time if you're, you know, you ever got time for vacation and you can make it out there and get a ticket. Awesome experience to be a part of. Bring a DS because there are some lines and you'll want something to, you know, keep yourself busy while you're sitting in them. So thanks for coming by, guys, and we'll see you the next time I stream.